It's NFL Week 1, and this is your NFL Week 1 researched informed core value plays. These are the players that we're going to be building teams around in NFL Week 1 if we want to smash. Most certainly in our cash games and in our smaller contests where maybe ownerships are less of a concern. So let's jump right into it, and we're going to get into our DraftKings core plays. The way I'm coming up with these plays, it starts with using the DFS Army Domination Station and the props-based projection model. The props projection model is the most accurate fantasy player projection system, I believe, ever conceived. And what we're doing here is we're effectively taking a proprietary mix of the props from the sharpest sports books for each player. We assign a metric value to each prop. We add it all together, and we come with a fantasy projection total for each player. The reason this is the most accurate, of course, is because betting lines are moving these props and creating accuracy. If you don't believe in one of those lines, you can bet the opposite side of it. If you think a player is not going to get as many yards, you can bet unders and overs. So the money speaks with these projections. And without further ado, we're going to start with the running back position. And I've got the prop space projection set up over here. And you can see that the top overall value for NFL Week 1 is Christian McCaffrey. CMC is a lock button for me in NFL Week 1. $7,300 on DraftKings. Way too inexpensive. Way too cheap. I never say that. I think they're all too expensive. Way too inexpensive considering the 49ers are down some weapons. The offense is likely to run even more through Christian McCaffrey than it might if they had their whole suite of players available to them. So CMC, first overall core play for NFL Week 1 on DraftKings. If I just go by value, Alvin Kamara is the second man up. He's right there. He's got a 17.5 point projection, 2.78 fantasy points per dollar. You think, hey, that's got to be your number 2, right, Geek? Nope. What do we know? We've learned in the offseason that if there's ever a red flag on a running back, it is home underdog running back. Now, you might say, but Geek, the Saints, they got no one else to throw to. Kamara, he's going to catch a bunch of passes. Doesn't matter. Are they going to score a lot of touchdowns? Probably not. Their quarterback, no good. Again, just rule of thumb it. Little sticky note on the computer. Avoiding home underdog running backs has been a successful thing to do in tournaments. We're going to avoid him and move on to the next core running back, Devon Achane. Monster 18.788 point projection for 6,900. He's just behind Christian McCaffrey, and he's third overall projected in terms of raw points on the slate, just behind Bijan Robinson, who costs $1,100 more. So Devon Achane, indoor, on the carpet, assuming he's healthy, Tua healthy in that game, high-scoring affair between Miami potentially and the Colts. Even if it's not, Achane in healthy games with Tua has absolutely smashed throughout his entire career. So CMC and Achane, the starting building blocks of our lineup. A couple other names that are popping up here as values. You got James Conner and Chase Brown. I'm leaning Chase Brown over Conner, but both really good spots as well. Conner, Brown, and then Taylor, Bijan, and the rest of them. So for our core running back group, we plugged in Achane and Christian McCaffrey to this core lineup. At the end of this video, I'm also going to show you how to build off of a core and make some different tournament type entries from this. But let's continue on. Wide receiver group, already done. Sorted by fantasy points per dollar based off the prop-based projection. And the number 1 value play on the slate by far is Emeka Egbuka, wide receiver, Tampa Bay Buccaneers rookie, with Godwin out this week. Emeka Egbuka is going to step into that slot wide receiver role for the Bucs in a high-flying affair here with the Falcons. Egbuka lit it up in training camp, and by all word that we've heard and everything, this guy looks to be the real deal. So, of course, is it a little scary rostering a rookie that we've never seen play in the actual NFL as a core play? Sure, it's a little scary. But if you don't think it's real, you could just go ahead and bet some unders on him and make your money back, because these are what the props are telling us to do. Next up, we got Ricky Pearsall. Similar situation. 49ers, everybody hurt. Now, at this moment, Juwan Jennings still got a Q-tag, but I do not expect him to play. Assuming that's correct, and Juwan Jennings does not play, Ricky Pearsall pops up as a number as a top wide receiver value on the slate. 4,500 on DraftKings is an absurdly low salary level for effectively what should be the WR1 for the 49ers. Some honorable mentions as well. Ted McMillan, coming up with a monster number at 5,200. Again, only game in town. Coker, gone. There's really not, Xavier Legette, not really a volume wide receiver. So in that same scenario of this Jacksonville Panthers game, Ted McMillan, certainly love him as a comeback player, maybe in some Trevor Lawrence build around. Drake London popping as well, 6,500. Drake London's just like cheaper than other similar wide receivers like Drake London, Brian Thomas Jr. They all fall in the same category. T. Higgins and Drake London's just coming in just a little bit underneath those guys. And so he just pops just a little bit there. I really like him. Mike Evans, Marvin Harrison, all of these guys, Brian Thomas Jr. as well. They all project as really good values, but Drake London is the top of the group. But for our core plays, it's going to be Emeka Egbuka and Ricky Pearsall as our two core wide receivers for NFL Week 1. We will build around these guys, Pearsall and Egbuka, in the lineup. All right, let's jump over to the tight end position. And of course, at the very top of the list for NFL Week 1, we have George Kittle for the same reason that we like McCaffrey. And for the same reason that we like Pearsall, we like George Kittle. The projections like George Kittle. The 49ers are a team that already has a very concentrated offense. They tend to give the ball to their studs. With Ayuk out and probably Jawan Jennings out, two studs out of the way, the other three should be peppered with an endless stream of opportunities. So there's a lot of good tight end plays in Week 1. David Njoku with the return of Flacco. They've had some great games together. Trey McBride, of course, just because he's Trey McBride in that sort of cupcake matchup against the Saints. Brock Bowers is a stud. We're all excited to draft him in round 2 of our fantasy football drafts this year. He's actually has the largest raw projection on the slate. He's just priced a little bit higher than George Kittle. So any one of those names really good this week, but we are going with George Kittle as our core play. So I'm actually going to give you a core defense here. This is not informed necessarily by the props. This is just actually the projections do agree here as well. So that's good to see. But my core defense for NFL Week 1 on DraftKings is going to be the New York Jets at home against the Steelers. Aaron Rodgers out there. I don't think he's good. He's old. He's slow. I could be wrong, but I think the Jets will have no problem shutting down DK Metcalf, who's not a dynamic WR1, a dynamic route runner or anything like that. I think the Jets' elite safety play, just one man over top, you'll be able to shut him down. He's not somebody who's going to elude two defenders. And after that, I just don't think the Steelers have that much to offer with Aaron Rodgers, except for getting sacked and, run it up the gut against the tough Jets run defense. So we'll see how that goes. But I like the Jets in Week 1 at 2,800 under, play. If we're paying up, of course, we want to go up to the Broncos at home against the rookie. But we're not looking to go up here in this list. We're looking for core plays that we can build around. So we've got Jets defense as a build around. Now, let me show you how to take this core and turn it into a lineup for NFL Week 1. So we have a core built. So what we do to take a core and turn it into a quality lineup for a tournament is simply figure out a nice little stack to pile onto here. So one I could do here, because we have so many pieces from San Francisco, might as well just say, hey, what if we just throw Brock Purdy in there? Okay, then I think about that San Francisco game and we say, if I'm playing all those guys from San Francisco, I've got to get at least one piece, maybe two pieces from Seattle to prove that they're making a game of it. So we'll throw Jackson Smith and Jigba in there. We got 6,100 for the flex. And in the flex, you can do whatever you want. Adams, James Conner, who was one of the high value plays, Devontae, Chuba, whatever you want to do here, you could finish up a lineup in a beautiful way, just built around that. Similarly, if I don't do the Brock Purdy concept, we can build a very easy stack around Trevor Lawrence, right? Lawrence, same idea. We'll plug him in here. We've already got, no, I don't have any pieces connected to him, but obviously with Trevor Lawrence, we've got Brian Thomas Jr., who's the top stack piece. So I might toss BTJ in there. And then maybe I might do a little Ted McMillan, who was popping for us. We'll pull one of these names out. Pearsall, we'll put Ted McMillan in that spot. Got the comeback, and we can finish it off with whatever we want here. A final piece could be anything. Deebo Samuel, we got 5,300 for the flex. Throw Deebo in there. Fine. There we go. So, guys, that's going to do it for NFL Week 1 core build around plays. It's going to be McCaffrey and Achane at the running back position. It's going to be Igbuga and Pearsall at the wide receiver position. George Kittle, that's right. It's a pay-up option at tight end. That's core because George Kittle has shined whenever some of the wide receivers are missing for the 49ers. So we got to go to Kittle there. And of course, Jets defense, I'm going to call them the cheapest viable defense. They're at home. They're taking on Aaron Rodgers. You can't go wrong there. Guys, it's NFL Week 1. Our Week 1 promotion at DFS Army is still going strong. Promo code Kickoff 2025 gets you 20% off. I'll see you guys in the Discord. Take care, everybody.